Hello, this is Dirty 20 Gaming. My name is Kevin, and these amazing people have joined me from all around the world to come and play a game with me today, and that makes me happy and still mind blown. The fact that some of you folks are staying up till tomorrow already to play with me today. Let's start with those people, and let's start with one of the ones from all the way over there. Janet, I remembered your links this week. What is the most recent thing
Hey,
you've been doing at your channels?
hi, hello. I'm only streaming right now, showcases, but I'm also doing reviews. Right now, I'm working on a review about movie The Secret Garden from 1993. It's a really good movie and book.
Yes, I worked in the bookstores actually when that book came out, and it caused a fuss. That was a big story. I had no idea that you were involved with that. I should watch your stuff more often. Thank you. Next,
Yeah,
for
it's my favorite book, and I'm kinda sad that now it's kinda news.
it doesn't matter as long as you're enjoying it. It will
No,
never go away. Ah, I'm the same way with some classic science fiction, but let's not get on a tangent. Let's talk to some other people. Let's talk to another people from the far reaches of the universe, all the way around the other side of the planet. Yes, you know who you are, Brill Chan.
Hello, hello. I'm Carol, nickname Brilchan, and today I will be playing Ben Drowned, a devilman that is thinking about not being a devilman to be more helpful to his crew. The other character I play here under the 20 gaming because I mostly hang out at the Discord and I don't have any other projects at the moment. I also play the amazing Kraken, who is a big and strong communist builder who got scared away and didn't take part in a lore dump that was made especially for him because he got scratched at the face and ran away to Bone Daddy
It is
because
the
he needed a drink and some downtime
It was an
and a juice
excellent,
box.
an absolutely excellent juice box.
Yeah.
It was a spectacular example of how live role playing sometimes doesn't go the way you expected it. They set up that lore dump for weeks, maybe months, and then time comes and it was given to another player. So now we
Yeah,
get to see the joyous scene
yes.
of your character Kraken being told that he was mostly right most of the time, but he wasn't there to enjoy it.
Yeah, and it's so fun because I don't control what most of my characters do. Sometimes I try to rein them in so they won't ruin the fun for everyone else.
Uh,
But it wasn't planned, it just happened. And I love it. It
those are
was
the
so
best ones.
fun.
All right. Next, let's go to Siosa.
Hi. I almost always mute myself when I start before I start talking, so I just assumed that I did and stopped. Um, I'm Siosa. I play Anchors Away, the pirate animatronic.
Yeah.
I'm kind of he could be. Automaton is the word that I was looking for. Uh, Aboard our fine ship, and on Sundays I run Shadow of the Walk Term, which is a first edition 7th Let's Play. We just had two back-to-back episodes of sort of like nice, happy little downtime, so I think that's enough time for my players to recover from all the trauma I've put them through, so I can put them through more trauma now.
Yes, you got to give him a break every once in a while. Give him just a glimmer of hope, and then crush it under your heel like a bug. That is
We've had seven. We've had, like 20 episodes of like, the trauma, and then 2 episodes of like downtime, and next episode, all of the Iron Princes are coming to Freeburg. So that should uh, that should be
yes.
interesting.
And now the war. Okay. On that happy note, let's move along to the captain for us tonight, Deku Shrublily, to use your full name. Hello, and what are you doing when you're not here?
Delighting that I'm getting the bison underscore stonefist treatment now. But other than that, I just hang out in the Discord and yeah.
Just hang out in the Discord and just watch lots of videos. You and our Brilchan as well. You guys have seen the vast majority of our YouTube stuff, which is a great segue for me to say, go watch the YouTube. There is 600 and many episodes up of so many shows because I do the 12-week thing, 12-week, 14-week sort of shows. So there's a whole bunch of playlists. Go and enjoy it. I went the other day and looked and saw games that I forgot I ran. So yeah, pop over to YouTube. It's an eye-opening experience. But don't do it now, because now we're gonna play this game. Yeah.
I have a quick story about that. So like we were going through boxes in our house as we were like getting ready for a guest coming. And I found boxes of character sheets from like me as a teenager, which
Oh
is
wow.
30 years ago.
Yeah.
Like games I've never remember running, games I never remember playing, you know,
Yeah.
but like that was my handwriting for sure. I I absolutely vibed with that when you're like, I don't remember doing this.
Yeah. That's I love it. The creative goes on and on and on. But let's get creative with this bunch because the ship sits anchored in the river, the full power of nature pouring past both sides. As you look onto what is obviously pre-tech, a warehouse made of material that the walls are too thin, the metal is too pure. You can tell from here it's definitely not from now, and it's definitely not from the relatively short period of time since the deluge. There were rumors of this. Cassandra, you'd heard of them. I read them in your library, no doubt. And I think we'll start in your library because that's where we left you. How much of your experiences from when you got to the first beach to gather fruit and veggies until now did you manage to get into the journal? You're muted.
As much as possible without putting too fine a point on everything,
Yep.
like not a minute by minute playback, but like zombies encountered, yeah, okay, dealt with, moving on.
Right. So,
Uh,
like a ship's log almost?
Pretty much.
Yeah,
And like
that makes sense.
encountered person,
Yeah.
saved person, like just sort of that stuff. And she did want to do a schematic of the little drum and Vanessa's findings
Yeah.
on it
The,
and the
oh,
demon ooze and
yeah.
the 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 encounter with the demons in the mountain
Yep.
and with some mild speculation or at least posing questions like why are they staying in the mountain
Yes.
and all of that to like for whoever write or reads this book like put the question in their mind, make them think, hey, that is weird.
Yes. Yeah.
And the the trade agreements done between the two villages, um leaving out Wake Shadow's little coup.
That's the best part about writing history is you do your own editing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
um
Um,
but basically, yeah.
so at some point during that, you've got to realize because you're using the magic ink, right?
Leviathan
The
ink, yeah.
Leviathan ink. You're using a journal which was presented to you by Vanessa. So this is like this, and you do magic by writing. So this book is kind of vibing. I don't know what we're gonna do with it yet, but it's sort of just vibing with this you magic. Um, but at that point, you can feel at some point during the writing of that I think you'd have to realize that you are writing history like with a big H, capital H
Yep.
history,
Yep.
and that means you're making capital H history and you're in charge. It hits again. That so this is like tenth, hundredths, thousandths, 10,000th time that I've basically beat you with your own hat, with your captain's hat. I'm wondering how that feels this time. Has it changed? Is the hat more comfortable? Doth the crown lie more lightly on the brow?
Not really, because responsibility is responsibility,
Yep.
and it always will be.
Yes.
She has lives in her hands.
Yes. You can't
And if she
afford
ever
to let it
forgets
get
that, she
automatic.
doesn't.
Yeah. Sorry.
If she ever forgets she has lives in her hands, she doesn't deserve to be a captain anymore.
Perfect. Speaking of which, you had mentioned your plan to have a word with the crew before you go ashore. Was that still part of your plan?
Um, if you're talking about boiling it down to the four of us are going to explore this factory. If we do not come back within,
Okay.
let's say, by dawn
Yeah.
tomorrow, assume we're dead and leave without us.
Gotcha. Okay.
And she
Uh,
will tell them that she has an important book that needs to make it back home no matter what.
so you
And it needs to be copied and it needs to be spread among all of the seafaring peoples.
perfect. There would be a sort of head of crew, like the person that reports directly to Anchor, probably.
Yep,
We
yep.
just go to that person, so so they'd be okay with the state secrets, and
Hmm.
so you don't have to tell everybody, right? So yeah, you've made arrangements to make damn sure the book, in whatever state you leave it, gets out and gets exposed to the world. Perfect. So let's cut away then. Yeah, Big Jim, the biggest of the Jims. He's the boss, the boss of the current crew. Let's go from there to actually, I want to go to Vanessa because you said that you wanted to investigate and experiment and sample the silver liquid, right?
Yes, and also I want to pull out my compass assassin and check
Yep.
out where it's target on this lake.
That's the work of a second. You pull out your compass and it's pointing right out in the middle of the lake, but you cannot see squat when you look out at this lake. The reflection off the silver just makes like a heat shimmer above it. You couldn't see. You've been told there's an island out there, but you cannot see it during the daylight. Maybe after dark, with only the moon and the stars, you might get a better view. But in daytime, it is unless you go
I,
out there, you're not going to see the island. But you've been told it's there.
I, I wrap around a rope of bottles and pull down and up, getting samples.
So yep, perfect. So you'd have to go out on a rowboat, but we can do that. Yeah, you scoot over and get a sample of it without putting yourself at risk,
Yes,
and come back and start to experiment on it. So let's have you give me page a size up. So that's you with vinegar. So let's do 2d6. Oops. Seven plus your vinegar is zero, so just a seven. Okay. Um, so what you learn is that it's very much like the element, because I'm going to use that phrase because it's roughly time appropriate, of mercury. It in an alchemical sense, except it's kind of foamy like an arrow bar. Normally, it would be very heavy and sink to the bottom of the water, but something about this is foaming it. But the uptake or the takeaway from this is a naturally occurring substance that has been mined, probably in this building, and it appears to be probably a runaway process. Like it just keeps going and going and going and going and going and dumping into the river, which is dumping into the lake, which is filling the lake, just covering the lake with this thin layer. I give you that much, all from just investigating the stuff. What do you do with that information?
I share with Cassandra so she can decide what we do.
Okay. So yeah, let's do that. Let's do that little scene. Vanessa, you take your findings to the library.
Yes,
Do you knock?
yes.
Okay. Cassandra?
Come in.
Yeah. The door opens. Vanessa walks in. Go.
I discovered those stuff about this silver water. I think you should know so you could decide what we do.
So yeah, they
Very well. Let's
plop the
see it.
paper. Yeah, plop the papers down on the table in front of you, and you now know what I said.
Hmm. I have to wonder how this affects the fish. Assuming there are fish down there.
Yeah, and I wondered if how they do this water. Like I know this natural, but I wondered what machine mining and if we can somehow travel with this Mercury because Mercury is kinda poisoning.
Quickly going to interrupt because I want to give you one more small piece of information, which I was just thinking when you said that. This version of Mercury is not toxic as far as this game goes. I'm not going to kill you for going on this lake. So besides being fluffy like an arrow bar, it's also not deadly toxic unless you like drink it. So that suddenly appears on the piece of paper that Cassandra just read across the bottom.
Okay,
It
what do we
says,
do?
it says here it's coming out of the factory. It has to be machines mining this out or something and mixing it up to make it this consistency. So I wonder if we can stop that machine and stop all this silver gunk. I
Maybe.
I would like to see if that's possible. The fewer problems we leave behind us, the better, I think.
I agree.
And Cassandra, I quickly want to add to you knew there was a stash of precursor tech around here somewhere. That's a precursor building. That looks like precursor tech run amok sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it all hangs together with the rumor that you heard about there being tech in here. So there's there's probably mobile tech in
Oh,
there. There's this machine that you want to stop. There's a lot of reasons piling up onto why to go to this building.
I also wondered if this version of Mercury could hurt demons or zombies.
that's something to investigate later. Above table, I have an ability that I can spend luck on.
Yeah.
It is called Lore Keeper. When you
Yes.
encounter a new land creature or phenomenon,
It is. Do
I can
do do
spend
do do.
one
So-
luck to learn a story I've heard about it. The
Perfect.
story contains or reveals a secret truth.
Perfect. So you
Yeah.
spin around and like the way I picture it anyway. Tell me if this is wrong, but you sort of spin around, your hand sort of automatically goes to the right spot on the shelf. Bang, thud, book flaps open. I know this, right? Is that how you tell me how
Yeah.
it works? That's how I saw it.
It's like
This is your character. You tell me.
she sits there sort of looking at the stuff in the vial for a little bit.
Yeah.
You can see the gears twirling and twirling in her mind, and something goes ding, and then she's like, "Oh, oh!" And then she goes up to one of the shelves and like she has one finger pointing at it, swiping and swiping over, not
Yeah.
swiping, but like waving over the shelves until she finds the book that she heard about all this in. And it's a it's a very old report, naturally, and like it's vague but uh hidden truth. So
So
I could
what's
take book fever if I wanted to learn exactly what it was, but eh, not today. It's gonna have to wait.
responsible captainy decision? So
Yep.
what do you get for you still get to create a piece of knowledge, a key piece of knowledge about this material. That doesn't cost you book fever, right? It only costs you book
Yeah,
fever if you want to do something more than
let's
that.
see, a secret or a hidden truth.
So, give us the hidden truth about the mercury foam that nobody else knew.
This substance was required in the manufacture of something. But if this much is being made, something is clearly gone wrong. Like,
Yep.
something was being made in this facility, but no records have survived to this point.
I love it because that's not just in game, but in reality, that is actually true of mercury. They use it in a number of different processes as a way to get as a sort of a catalyst. But yes, and you're going to find out more about that when and if you get to the island. But
Yeah, there's too many things about this site that need investigating. We're definitely going in.
so I'm going to give you a little bit more because, like a very good player, I offered you a chance to define a thing, and you didn't overstep at all, at all, at all. So I'm going to give you something for that. Um, you know your book shows you almost you can almost make sense of how the process of manufacturing this works. You're pretty sure that if you saw the mechanism now, you would know how to shut it off rather than
Thank
having
you.
to guess or figure it out at that point. So you know how to stop the reaction, at least, chemically. Perfect. So that's the two of you for the moment. Let's go to Anchor because I want to save Chaos Ben for last.
So Anchor's been given some moment and some time to just kind of like think. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have like memories of the old world. He has flashes of it.
Yes.
Just little pieces. And there's something about the factory. Like we're on a paddle ship.
Yes.
So like the side of the water wheel is definitely like a connection. You know what I'm saying? And he's just been sort of watching it, but like he keeps having come to mind like these little like flashes of news clips of like runaway environmental damage and like the destruction that the old world wrought on itself well before there were zombies. And he was a kid at the time. He doesn't remember exactly what it meant. You know what I'm saying? And like his mind has kind of transformed it to like in search of ancient gemstones and magical metals, you know what I'm saying? Or
Yeah.
to drink the blood of dragons to fuel the world. Like that's sort of how it's all been like transformed. And he's just sort of like he's watching this tech and he's thoughtful. And at the same time that like Cassandra has been recording everything, I'd like to spend a luck point and do a twist fate action.
Yes.
And it's that much of the point of the ship is to sort of like provide hope for the future, and what they've discovered is a cradle of secrets and of possible meaning to the world. And so I like the idea that like the journal that she's been writing, the ship's log by power of the captain, like she might not know it, but like the ship is writing it into the very wooden fabric of like that,
Yes.
those pieces that will survive and endure to the next captain, to the
Yep.
next crew. Like
Right.
it may show up as like a journal form and maybe a message in a bottle, maybe writing on the wooden walls of the ship itself.
Yep.
But like, should we go down, that message will carry on.
Perfect. So, to go to the twist fate function, um, you spend 1 luck to pick one of the following options, and I answer it, or spend 2 luck and you answer it yourself. So you can, I don't know if you've got the moves open, you can see them there. You remember something useful that you have. You spot a fleeting opportunity within the scene, and you see an important NPC arrive to turn the tide. Are the
I
ones
think
that are
it's going to be
listed
the.
there. So
I think I'd like to do the fleeting opportunity, and since I kind of answered it myself, I don't mind paying the
yeah,
2 luck for it.
okay,
I think it's so kind of essential to what the ship is built for
yes,
that I think it's almost happening on its own.
yeah, I like that. So yeah, you see that moment, and one simple thought that I'll give you for free is stop the wheel, stop the process? Question mark. Is it as simple as just stopping that water wheel? I'll give you the question.
Oh,
I'm not going to give you an answer. I'm just going to give you the question.
yeah.
Uh,
Um, but he is going to take the time. He kind of walks back into the map room where normally everybody gathers,
yep.
and he kind of like he opens the children's book that uh, Cassandra gave him a long time ago,
Yeah.
like when he was first like relearning his letters and everything, and kind of flips from one page to the next, and he takes the like sharpened bit of charcoal that they used to like mark on the maps and stuff like that. And this island that they've discovered, which has been unnamed, he's writing the name Cradle under it
Cradle. Oh, I love it.
because this was the cradle of like where the zombies came from, but with the possibility of food and civilizations and like land-based civilization, it could be a cradle for something else as well.
Yes. That's magnificent. Thank you. I appreciate that. Uh, that's a great add to this story. Okay, so let's get to Ben then. What dare I ask is Ben's conversation? Because you said you wanted to talk to your demon, right?
Yeah, so Ben would start. Yo, mate. So I got a proposition, a deal for you. I don't have really many treasures. I'm not that kind of pirate. But I have 2 magical trinkets that I made with you, and I don't need them anymore. So how about I give you this compass and this skull? I don't know why I needed those, but I guess they are cool. So maybe I can give them back to you. You can recycle. I think Capitan said something about recycling things. So you can get back the slivers of power you put into them, and you can give me back my animal transformation thing, and everybody will be happy, and I can become red tail hawk and look at scout our new
Okay.
objective. How about that?
Hello, Fox. Thanks for popping in. Appreciate it. I know you're
Hi,
going. Yeah, I know you're
Fox!
going live soon, but I looked at
Hello!
chat. I looked at chat. I'm allowed to. Ben, you've had this demon for not long actually, because you just got him in the trip, right?
Yeah,
Um,
like 4 days,
4 days. But
maybe less.
even in that short length of time, you come to expect, I think, a wheeler dealer, right? He's always wants to sweeten the pot. He's always trying to get the upper hand. So
Yep.
in this split second, you haven't even finished closing your lips on the last word of the offer, and you hear yes, and poof, the objects are gone. I don't care whether they're in your backpack or any. I don't care where they were. You can physically feel them. They're gone.
That was easy,
And
but okay.
you feel a sort of jelliness sort of settle over you that is that shape changing ability.
Yes. And since Capitan Cassandra said it's okay to go scouting, I'm gonna just go and do that. And to all my Animorphs fans, I love those books. They are amazing. And I read them as an adult, and you can read them for free, legally. So Ben will try to morph into a red-tailed hawk and catch a thermal to look from on up high and search the to look for the island because Red Tail have amazing eyesight.
Perfect. So you spiral up in the thermal coming
Yeah,
off of
but
this
I think I have to
reflective
roll
heat.
if
Oh yes, yeah. I'm just setting the
look
scene
if
first
it's
because the
rolls
reflective
it.
heat coming off of a mercury lake would be that's a thermal. That's a rocket ship thermal.
Yeah,
So
so it will be
easy to get height. Yeah.
2d6
Yep. Plus your
and
vinegar.
plus my Spitfire. I think it's 4. No,
Um,
it's 3
you were
for
doing
me
a size up,
Spitfire.
aren't we?
No, release your power
Oh,
because
release
it's a
my powers.
shape
Yes.
change.
Yeah. Okay. Unleash
And
me. Yes.
and
So yes.
as
Yep.
we established
Burn a
in the
luck.
green room, I
Yep.
have to use one of my luck points
Yep. Burn a luck
to channel the power.
and then
So
I need the
it's
roll of Spitfire.
Spitfire plus 3. 2d6 one moment. I'm
Mhm.
using the roll die
Ugh.
net
I've already got ink
side
all over
for
my
my
hands. I'm excited.
dice. It could go so wrong.
This could go so wrong.
It's 6 and plus 3, it's 9. So
Ooh,
it's a
you made it.
success.
Okay. All right. So on a hit, it does what you want, but exacts a personal cost or surges out of control. My choice. Uh,
Go for it.
so. Oh, I know exactly what happens. You spiral up over the lake. You still can't see out on the lake, even from on high. The light reflecting off of it. It's now you're looking down at like a bowl of mercury. You know, it's still you can't see the island. But what you can see through some of the holes in the roof of the factory, you can see a very familiar slash tasty greenish glow. Just a flicker, but it's enough to know that in that building there is a demon bolter, a tasty, tasty demon bolter.
Forbidden fruit.
And yes, it is the most forbidden of all the fruits. And I would like you to stand your ground or give
Could
in.
I take another luck point to have plus 1?
Um, I'd rather you burned a bond.
Okay. So when I look at my
You
bonds,
can, but I'd really rather you burned a bond.
Yep, no problem, no problem. I just learned a new mechanic. So I got 1 bond from with Anchor.
Mhm.
I got level 2, but it's 1 fresh
You've
bond.
burned one already, yep. But we're not quite at
Yep,
the. We're
and
not going to start a new chapter until you roll out into
yep.
the sea. Yeah.
I think it's all I have for bonds because I
Okay.
burned the one I
So
had
one.
with the ship.
Yep.
Yep.
So you can add one to your roll. So 2d6 plus one. That's it.
Okay. One
Oh,
moment,
but
I'm
you're
gonna.
facing your vice. So that's a minus one.
Yep.
So you're back to just 2d6.
Okay.
I'm
11.
such a nice GM that I'm
6
feeling
and a
nasty today.
5.
Oh wow, that is lovely. So
I
you
really don't want to
the little
have those
tiny
bad
predator
memories
brain,
back.
like the little tiny flying dinosaur brain that's in your head is like prey, food. Blah. But Ben thinks of Anchor, and Anchor would be so disappointed.
That is true. Also, the subconscious Ben
Yeah.
locked in his mind. He's like, no, we
Yeah.
don't want to.
Yes. So
And
you
just,
resist the urge to just power dive without asking your captain permission or anything else. You resist the urge to just dive bomb, but there is at least one demon bolter in that building waiting for you.
and as a small treat, he would have a little fun with the super thermals,
Yep.
and then he would dive bomb on the ship and change back into human
Yep.
and go to Capitan Cassandra with a report.
Okay. So this is perfect because you are the last person to walk into the library. Everybody else is already there. Thank you guys for doing my job for me and coalescing into a group. I appreciate that very much. Ben, you come in through the window? Because it's right at the back of the boat, right? With all the
Yes,
biggest
he
windows in
would,
the whole ship. So you just kind
because
of
he
thunk
got
onto
his
a
magic
windowsill,
back.
step in, and turn back into Ben, and say to Captain Cassandra,
Capitan Cassandra, I have a report. Scouting mission complete.
Very good.
May
What
I
did you see?
make my report?
Yes.
There is a demon bolter, like the one from the
Farm?
yep, from the mountain, and the one that Mister Anchor fought,
The
like
three he
the
fought, really.
yeah, the green demon zombies that are forbidden and very tasty, and I don't want to eat them. No.
I mean, she blinks at that because from her point of view, all Ben was doing was attacking it. I think she missed him eating it.
"Yep, that's fair."
So she's
Yeah, there's definitely a puzzled look from Anchor too.
Just a big slow blink.
okay. Thank you, Ben. Um, but okay, yeah. Anchor, you are not facing that thing alone again.
Understood. I have a thought that we might be able to kill two birds with one stone. Whatever factory process producing all of this might come from that wheel, and I think one of those hoppers might just stop it up for a little bit.
I have question. Might demon not react to Ben eating this goose? Because I feel like he should react.
to oh to I
To
don't know if your
Ben's
demon would know
addiction.
about your addiction either.
Yeah, but he was disgusted by green goose. So I felt
Yeah,
like
by those
demon
demons.
should
Yes. Oh,
react.
okay. So yes, that's fair. Yes, that makes sense. They react at the mention of there being a demon bolter in that building. That is like, oh. We don't like it. We don't like it at all. Fuck it. Let's just go around. Thank you for bringing this up. I forgot all the. I keep forgetting the demons. They're so hard to remember the NPCs with. But never
Yes,
mind.
and Ben also said that you don't want to eat it. And I feel like this also should demon react at this
Yeah,
mention.
Yeah,
and
that's a little awkward. Um, Bigger fish to fry, though, right? I mean, we got bigger fish to fry.
yeah, and though the demons still make our heads hurt because we are close together
Um,
in one room.
they normally should, but you feel like almost like your demons are girding their loins. You know, they're getting ready to fight this time. They've read the room, and it seems like you guys are probably going in. And
That's nice.
if
I'm
that's the
happy
case,
that
then
Anchor get some sense into our emo demons.
yep, he talked a demon into sense.
And my
Solid stars
still
behave.
and my still is closet in the room.
Oh, is it in his room or is it out?
Is what?
Because they
Think
have rooms in our minds
Oh, I
when
see what you.
they go
Okay, yes, I
teenagers.
forgot the image that I created. Um, they're sort of they're outside of their rooms, but if you had to sort of get a visual image, I see them sort of strapping on their little demon armors in your head. They're in the armory, right? They're getting ready to go.
Because
They've read the room.
because I remember he was upset for no tears.
Yep. So you will, because he's out of his room, you're 99.9% sure you can use your powers, for one thing, which you weren't 100% sure of when he was in the room. And he doesn't seem to be mentioning anything about your readings regarding Leviathans. That's just, he's just not talking about it.
Ben would just say to Mr. Anchor, "Thank you for talking to our solicitors. I think they are working a little better as a group. Thanks
Or
They
to
they
stop
you."
have
be
more concerning problems to face right this second rather than whatever your deals are.
Yeah,
they stop behaving. Let me know.
yes, sir. I just wanted to say my thanks before we go to battle.
So you guys have got multiple sizes of small boat on board. We've got that determined. You know, you could have one with just big enough for the four of you. You have bits and pieces. You mentioned the hopper, using that to block the water wheel. That's one of the options. Let's go back to that moment where you said we could block up the water wheel. Cassandra, what's your response to that? Oh,
Um,
given the
Above
knowledge.
table,
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
I didn't know what a hopper was, so I thought he was talking about something in the factory, like
Oh
a
no, he's referring to the angry kind of demon
oh
zombies. He's talking about using it like uh throwing it into the works and seeing if
Oh,
we
yeah,
can
okay.
stop
gumming
them
it up.
using demon.
Oh,
Cassandra's
well,
all for that.
I'm really glad you asked that because in my head I thought like an ore hopper or like a contain like a little thing on wheels that you fill full of fruit maybe. So yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I did not think of it. I love it. They're hoppers now. I like that. Thank you. So yeah,
Yeah,
gumming up the
Cassandra's all
works with one of them.
for.
So you'd have to go inside, kill it, bring it outside, and throw it in the wheel.
Well, presumably
Or
there's some machinery on the inside of it as well that probably wouldn't
oh
enjoy
yes,
being pushed through.
yeah, oh yeah,
So
yeah. That's fair too.
he
Yeah,
just has to get it over to that.
yeah. I like that actually. Yeah,
I
that's an
I
idea.
agree. I agree to investigate machines because this green goose is toxic
Yep.
and we don't want it in water.
Yes. Even though it's covered in a silver scum, there's no need to add demon scum under that. That would be nasty. That's like kicking somebody when they're
Um,
down. Yeah, Cassandra.
I thought the demon ooze was washable by water,
It
so
is.
we actually want water on the thing. I'm more concerned about it reacting to the silver, the
Okay.
mercury.
Mm-hmm. So the
But
basic
this
underlying
will,
plan still works. Like some way of gumming up the works, just maybe not with a demon. Is that Cassandra's sort of pitch? To put it in a nutshell.
Well, I do want that wheel to stop.
Okay, that
It
makes
could
sense.
be separate, like if a wheel turns, there's like belts and all that stuff going to other machines in the factory,
Yes.
which aren't necessarily the belts aren't what is making the silver.
Mm-hmm.
The point is to stop the machine turning.
Yes.
So if we can get a hopper in there, gunk it up, why
Mm-hmm.
not?
All right.
but
So
this, but this goose we born with and
It,
machines uh,
we're not tackling
damage.
this thing from the wheel outside. We're going to the shafts
that's
connected to the wheel that are inside.
that's what I wanted to know. So rather than so your plan then would be to land on shore in a small boat and then enter the building. Is that the idea?
Hmm.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. All right.
Capitan Cassandra, one more thing. I
Yes.
will not do it if you don't give the okay, but if the situation calls for a distraction, I think I got something quite nice in my big packet for that.
If
Is
you're
Steve? Oh,
willing
go
if
ahead.
you're willing to take that risk. You have my permission.
Anything from for the ship. Just tell me, do the distraction,
Ben,
and I will do it.
is the violin visible?
I think it's. I would think it's a hammer space thing. Like you can call it out.
Okay, so
like
it's like a warlock's packed
yeah,
weapon.
packed weapon.
It doesn't physically exist until you call it. Okay, so I asked because I wanted to know if you, because if Cassandra could see it as a new item that you had. So the answer to that is no. All right.
He would do a finger snap and show it to everyone and just put it back
Put it
into
back.
hammer
All right.
space.
So you get the crew set up. You do this the standard thing where they stay in the middle of the river where it's safest. You guys get in the boat. The crew, Big Jim's got this, and you head to shore. It's easy enough. It's quiet, other than the chickens on the deck. Are you taking the chickens with you? That's what I knew there was something. So the chickens staying on the ship. Okay.
They stay. They will get called in if
Pecking on the farm because there's an open air farm right on the ship. I just
yep.
that's now got in my head. That's got like a dozen chickens in it now.
Ben will call for backup dancers if they are needed.
The only chickens in all of everywhere, or at least all of this island. The only animals on this island. It started off as a joke, and you bastards adopted them magically this time. It's some stories never change, some tropes never end. But you land on the beach, and you can hear that crunch as the boat pulls up on the shingle. You step out, and I think, you all know what you're up against. You've seen these things. Anchor's a solid. The Anchor can beat them up, but Anchor came back shit kicked when he fought two of them. So, with that, I need something like, and this is not in the rules, but I want to know just in my own head, something like a marching order. As you head
Anchor's
towards the
in
double
front.
doors, yeah, I figured that. Who's after Anchor?
I would like to be after, and I would like to be after Anchor and need shadow mode so the zombies not notice. And
Staying,
then
yeah.
and then maybe attack with my magic gun.
So you're literally hanging out in Anchor's shadow. Okay, that puts
His
you
Yes.
second.
wake.
His wake. Who's next?
Ben would be before the captain, so we can step to the side and start playing and do a distraction or chuck some fire, just to so the captain could be protected and that she could use her books
Okay,
to
and
support
then
us from the back.
Cassandra, you're good with bringing up the rear?
Yep.
All right. Perfect. As you move towards the building, there's some small windows, and the doors are kind of, they've been blown in over 30 years of weather. So you can sneak peeks in through the window. Let's start with, let's do them in order. Anchor, I would like a size up. So that's with
Here
vinegar.
comes my free experience.
You're free. All right, take your Odie and go, Blaze. Sorry for those folks that can't see chat. That made no sense, but ta-da.
Holy shit, we're in danger. So
Yep.
he's actually like noticing things.
So even with
It
them,
would
even
make
with
sense
an
in the
8. So
replay.
okay. I'm gonna roll for Janet's character. They got. Ooh, that's a 9. Okay. And then I would like Ben to roll, and I'm gonna tell you what each of you sees as we go through.
So just 2d6?
This is size up, so 2d6 plus your vinegar.
It's 6 and I don't think I have any vinegar.
Okay, so that's
it's a free experience.
That's 1 experience point and no information.
Yeah, 0 vinegar.
And Cassandra?
I got 10.
10, so 2.
Nice.
Oh, I love it. Okay. Anchor, you look through and you see that flicker of green. Something in there just moved. It's in said quadrant of the building. You know it's hiding behind a pile of that rubble there. So you know the location of one of them. Vanessa, sort of peeking out from behind Ben's shadow and looking in, you see one as well. I'm not going to tell you whether it's the same one or a different one. I'm not going to say it, but you see one as well behind a pile of rubble. Ben, you went this way, and Anchor went this way, and then you went that way, and then Vanessa went that way, and you saw Squat.
He's like too focused on being happy that maybe he will play his magic violin.
Yeah, while also trying to shield the captain.
Yeah.
Cassandra, I like this very, very much. You're in full like crew defense mode, right? I mean, this isn't just about you. This isn't just about being safe. You've seen what these things can do. You're trying to save everybody. You see, because you got as many successes as possible to see, you see Anchor track that one in the corner. You see Vanessa track the same one in the corner. And you and only you, because you look at Ben and he didn't see nothing, you're in the perfect spot at the back. You look over all of them and you see another one, just not even one, but you just see a claw sort of click around a window frame just steps from the front door. So there's an ambush waiting for you if you go through this door.
There's 2. They're waiting in ambush. And she'll point out the one claw.
Yeah.
So Vanessa will shoot to this bacon claw.
Okay, so
With
you're
her
gonna try to shoot
Mercury.
through the wall? That's your plan? Okay.
No, I shoot this
Well,
backhand.
yeah, you
This
can only
front
see
door.
like if you think of the Windows frame is here, and you're out there. And this is there's a wall here. You can just see the little fingers coming around here. So you could try and shoot the fingers, or you could try and shoot through the wall here to try and shoot the thing that's behind it.
Well.
The
I'm
wall
not
is
sure.
pre-tech, remember?
Yeah, that's true. So yeah,
Like the best construction materials of before time.
yeah.
So
But in real life, was it's like that bullets from guns can flow through.
Well,
But,
there's only one way to find out.
I would shoot
Yeah, so
through
you're
one because I saw documents military that these bullets can flow
okay.
through
So
walls.
you're gonna shoot through the wall at the body of the demon. Okay. Anchor.
can we resolve that shot first?
Yes. Yeah.
Because then that's going to determine my action.
Yeah. Absolutely. Let me just quickly.
I
check.
also will show Anchor gesture to take the with tracking corner. It should take this one and I track this from ambush.
So you I rolled for you. You rolled an 11. Your blood is actually -2, but that's still a 9. So we're gonna have to fix that. We have to do that after. It doesn't make any sense that you're this good at it, but your blood is that low. We'll retcon something later. But for now, even with the numbers as printed on your sheet, you step out from behind Anchor and pow, and the shot goes off. You see it hit the wall, and it doesn't go through the wall, but it hits, and when it drops away, you can see that the wall is dinted, and from inside you hear probably splinters maybe got through. The bullet did not get through the wall, and it doesn't appear to have caused any damage to the other side of the wall, but you just sort of hit them with splinters off the backside.
Knock, knock.
Okay.
That is the point at which Anchor moves. Since he now has like a sound, he has an exact read on where it is. he's stepping through the opening, turning, just grabbing the creature while it's startled,
Yep.
and he's hurling it across the entire factory into the other one he sees.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. So give me the fighting. Whoops, not fighting. What's it
Yep.
called? Getting in a scrap roll, which is plus blood. And for each success, you either get one or two. So that's 7. So
Only a
that's
7.
still one. So you still get to choose 2 options, up to 2 options from the list. Every time you do something, they get to respond.
Okay. Let me see the list again.
So strike them and deal harm, wrestle something away from them, force them into a precarious position, frighten or intimidate is the ones that are listed there. But hurl across the room to me counts as a legitimate action.
Force them into a precarious
By
position.
hurling them across the room, yeah, fair.
Okay, so if on a hit I get to roll 2, but I only rolled a 7. Oh, it's on a 10 plus you also seize the ante, which is, I forget, is that just a
It's
+1 I could
plus
spend
1
anywhere?
to your that you could use against this specific enemy in this specific fight. Yeah.
Okay, so the precarious position is I'm putting them together because I know that my teammates have fireballs.
Nice. Okay. So
and so then my second one is going to be frighten or intimidate them because I know these things feel fear. And Anchor's just like he's jumping onto a conveyor full height in the just like he booms, "Stay where I can see you."
nice. So you grab it and hurl it. That is a success. They get to respond to that. It's a success. They're flying through the air, and you see it just sort of turn and look at you. It's just ignoring that it's going to land hard, and it just turns and looks at you and tilts its head, and you can see it sort of mark you, like your mind, and then it hits and the boxes and shit everywhere, and it skids, takes the legs out from underneath the second one, and then you give it the and you look over, and the two of them. I'm actually gonna do a weird thing. I'm gonna roll for them just because I want to generate a random number. Yeah, that's perfect. I rolled 1 success. One of them, the one that you threw, just that focus on you has counteracted the intimidation, but the other one is actually backing up like, wait, we're supposed to be the badasses. So one of them is intimidated, and the other one is locked on you hard.
Okay.
Ben, let's just work our way down the line. Bang!
Since
Thud!
since
Fling!
Anchor said that
Yep, the door's open
my
now in front of you.
teammate has fireballs,
Yeah.
and Ben remember that he has fireballs, and he remembered a song from Steam Powered Giraffe from the before the deluge,
Yeah.
because now he has all the old songs of the Earthbird, and he would start his green bellfire and start chanting, "Fire, fire burns much brighter," and it will take away your desire to not be cold as you expire, you piece of shit. And he would call on his fire,
Okay.
green balefire, demonic fire, to burn this demon to watch.
So burn another luck.
I want that ask something, Cassandra.
2d6.
Yeah, go ahead while he does the roll.
It's 7, but plus my Spitfire 3, I think it would be on.
Great, so that's a 10.
Yeah, it's a 10.
All right. So, it does what you ask, which is cause fire, and there is it does what it asks, but it's a personal cost, but this time you choose. It exacts a personal cost on you, or it surges out of control.
I think it would. Yeah, Ben just loves his demonic powers too much, so he would let them surge out of control
Okay.
because he's stupid like that.
Okay.
He just think it's cool. He's a kid having fun.
So
Fireworks.
this is the perfect reveal. So you reach for, you said it's green, and you reach deep down inside. You want to impress your new friends. This is it. This is the time to shine. This is time to be Ben effing drowned, man. And you just step forward and let blast with this fireball, and it heads towards the two that you can see now, and it splits at the last second and explodes into like a shotgun blast and covers that whole section of the warehouse.
Yes.
You hear both of them, little particles of green fire speckling them and burning little spots like little green napalms all over both of them. They both step back, having taken one harm, and then you notice that one little mote is still lit, and it kind of slowly, like time kind of freezes here for a second for this effect to happen, just like a an ember from a fire, just sort of drifting and drifting and drifting on the wind. It heads over into the other corner where none of you have been able to get a clear view, and I can just see Ben kind of looking around Anchor to follow it with his eyes, and it goes and explodes in the other corner, revealing two more of them.
Let's do more.
So there's a grand total of four of them in there, all of which have taken one harm from Ben's Ben's earth-shattering kaboom. Ben, do you step in the building, stop in the door, stay outside?
I would stay to protect the captain.
Okay.
I'm her shield.
Okay. I want Cassandra to get one action in before we go back to Vanessa, and then we'll just go back to the top of the round. So, Cassandra, that's what you see in front of you.
You know, you just mentioned boxes.
Yes, I did.
I imagine this factory is dark.
Except
It
for a
might be
couple
nice-
holes in the roof, yeah.
Might be nice to light up some corners.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I do have a book for that.
The book you started with, the very first one.
Yep.
So tell us what this looks like and what the result is.
Well, the specifics of the book are to light one fire. So, ideally, I would like a number of little candle places to illuminate
Yeah.
all the threats.
Okay. So if you're looking down the length of the warehouse, which you kind of are, the two far corners are sort of already lit up. So I'll give you those two from the results of Ben's fire because it's real fire. So they've lit those corners of the warehouse. So you kind of got the two close to you that are still unexplored. Does that help?
Yeah. She will want to light up those corners because who knows? Let's go for 2 more and have there be 6. Why not?
So to do that, you have to step into the building, right? To see here and here, you have to at least poke your head through and your finger through to do that. Is that something you're willing to do?
Yep.
Okay.
Can't fight something you can't see.
That is true.
Especially something these guys are dangerous. One kicked Anchor shit in.
Yep. Two of them down
So-
there killed him. So
Mhm.
so you step in left or right? Because you said you get to do one, right?
Yeah, the one that Ben didn't light up. So
Okay.
I imagine that's on the right
On
because
your right is the way in. Okay. So you step in and
Yeah.
kind of read. Remind us how this book works again.
this book, I don't know if it's supposed to work this way, but the way we've done it, it's a level of intensity that
Yes.
Cassandra has to read out,
Yes.
and after I read it, I have to sneeze.
Yes. Yeah. So you have to read out loud the words out of the book, and you can unleash your powers, and
Yep.
so that's the actual. So you unleash your mysterious powers. So roll plus Spitfire.
Yep. Oh. Enter.
There it is. All right. Oof.
12.
Well, go. So that's as big a success as pretty much as big a success as you can register. Anything 10 plus is as good as it gets, right?
Is this the largest sneeze I've ever heard from Cassandra? Because I imagine Anchor knows what the sneeze means, and when
Yes.
he hears like a "oh, chew,"
I,
it's
li-
like, ah,
I like. Oh,
ducking
I'm
now.
gonna work that in. So Cassandra, you reach in and point to the right and say the things, and there's a fire there. You turn to sneeze because it's not polite to sneeze, right at something. You turn to
Hmm.
sneeze, and because of the 12, you light a fire in the fourth corner of the room as well. So now there's your. What color is your fire?
I just imagine it being normal fire
It's
because
fire, yeah.
Cassandra's basic like that.
Because yeah, so these two corners of the room are lit with red fire. You don't see any more of the demon, the hoppers. The far two corners of the room are lit by Ben's green fire. So end result is there's only four of them in here. They've all taken 1 point of damage. We're back to the top of the row. Anchor, and then Vanessa.
No, Vanessa
Oh,
is before
Vanessa.
me.
Okay, right, yeah.
She wins the last round, so
Right. Yes.
I don't mind keeping the same
I
order.
was looking at the wrong list I have
I,
here. Yeah.
Vanessa, will go to Cassandra and whisper, Capitan, what if we put on fire this whole warehouse and burn those zombies? We close doors and look at them inside this warehouse because there's so much rubbish that could put on fire. So we could burn them, and also this fire could damage this wheel.
It would also damage the technology still inside that we could use.
Yeah, but we started put on fire boxes, and I'm scared soon
I
we'll
can put
be,
it out.
but Ben can, and I'm
Vanessa, I
well.
gotta interrupt because a turn is like 6 seconds long, and you're having a whole conversation. So I'm gonna cut you off from the conversation there, but I'm going to give you an action still. So if you now, your captain said no to burn the place to the ground. So then, do you turn and what do you turn and do?
I'm asking then what I should do. I'm
Kill
only
the
saying,
demons.
but I'm
No
scared.
buts. Kill the demons. Quick,
So
Shadow.
so I shoot with my gun
Nice
head
bang.
head of a zombie
Okay.
because bon I don't want fireball to not put on fire even more
Spit fire.
rubbish.
So that is a 9. So yes, you turn around and you look at the flickering fire at the end of the room. You see the two here and the two there. You pick one of them and you line up the shot and you squeeze the trigger.
Head.
Yep.
I want head.
You went for a
And this
headshot. Yep.
magic.
Yep.
And my magic gun.
Yep.
This stronger.
Oh yes. Yeah. And you pull the trigger and you see that you're so focused you can see your own ball fire out of your gun and travel across that distance, and it catches them right here, and you can see the shockwave pass. And it's a weird thing because their bones are different. We did this before. They're not really bones. They're just versions of this goo. So this whole part of the head just kind of does the second version of the transformer one, the liquid silver transformer head, and this chunk just kind of blows off. But it starts to heal over, but it has definitely taken a lot of damage.
Has anybody ever seen like slow motion videos of bullets being fired into ballistic gel?
Yes,
Mhm.
That's
Yes.
what
yeah,
I imagine.
Yep.
yes, exactly. That wave, that wake that you can see, the shock wave, and then the bullet goes through afterwards. Yes, exactly like that. Anchor. That was
Okay.
the one. That was the one that was afraid of you. That just took the
Okay.
extra damage.
Um. So, is there a point at which they get to like take actions on us?
That is a. I was. Thank you. I just realized.
I hate
You
like
haven't.
being the bearer
No,
of.
no, you're absolutely right. I didn't do them, and I've done this before, and I'm bad for this because I don't roll. I don't give them turns. So thank you. They, the three of them that aren't afraid of Anchor, rush towards you. The one that hates you, Anchor, is going directly at you. Uh,
Okay.
Cassandra, you're standing in the door, so you get one. And
I'm
Ben,
spending a bond to protect Cassandra.
okay. And the other one, either one of you, Vanessa, you're closer. Ben's still outside, so
Ben would try to shield Cassandra as well, but
okay.
he doesn't have that power.
That specific
But-
ability.
oh,
All right.
yep.
So yeah, one coming directly at Anchor, one coming directly at Cassandra, and one of them heading kind of starting to flank around Anchor, trying to get to Vanessa. The only ones that are going to get to them this round though is Anchor because they've got to cover the length of the room. You're in there already, so yeah.
Okay. Um.
And it's just
Okay. So
claws though. It's trying
I-
to tackle you. So yeah.
So I have in my head that the bond is meant to protect Cassandra.
Yeah.
There's the one coming at me, and I'm gonna once again turn him into a ballistic missile to hit the one that's going after Vanessa.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So get in a scrap. Definitely.
Vanessa will say, thanks.
Oh,
And he hits hard. I get the ante,
yes, you do.
and I
Yeah.
get I get the two choices. Um, so I'm absolutely striking and dealing harm to this one.
Yep,
I
and
do
you
two
do
and a
two.
wreck because I'm close.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
and because this one shot me some stank eye,
Yeah.
I'm going to take. So the ability that I bought last time was like a twig. And what it lets me do is that it's only when I'm hit. So
Okay.
you said it was coming at me, but it hasn't done that yet. But if it does hit me as a response, because it gets two responses,
Yeah.
then I'll activate it.
Okay. But it's you got the 10 plus on it, so you do not take damage. Anything 9 or
Okay.
less, you would have taken damage. 10, you managed to block it. Plus, you do your thing.
Okay, so I do the full 2 damage to it, and then
Yeah.
my other thing is the
Now,
precarious
to be
position.
clear, that's the
I'm
one that was
using it-
attacking Cassandra.
That
right?
was the one coming at me.
At you.
So
Okay.
I'm using that to do 2 damage to it on top of what I didn't do damage last time. I just moved it around. But this time I'm doing 2 damage and I'm moving it to like nullify the attack on Vanessa.
Okay. And
As
Vanessa
it's
or
precarious.
Cassandra?
As I'm using my bond to protect you. So when it comes after you, I'm going to be like in the way already. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I'm taking I'm
Yeah.
protecting
Okay.
Vanessa by stopping the attack of the other creature that's coming for it while also injuring this thing. Does that all make sense? Does that track with the system as you see it?
I think so. So there was one that was coming directly at you with hate in its eyes, and then there was
Mhm.
one that was going at Cassandra and one that was going at Vanessa behind you. You're taking the one that was going for Vanessa and allowing this one to attack you?
No. So when this one comes at me, my attack is to do 2 damage to it,
Yes.
and then
Oh,
hit
and
it
throw
into
it,
the one
right,
that's
and then-
attacking Vanessa.
Right.
Um,
Okay.
and then
now I got it.
like
yes.
I have a bond ready to protect Cassandra that I'll just like be there and
right.
take the harm.
Now, okay. Yes. Now I got it. So, yes. So you face yours and hammer it. It's still standing, but it has taken a hellacious hit. And then throw that sort of stumbling one in front of the one that was trying to get around you, therefore blocking the one that gets to was getting towards Vanessa. I put it in the wrong one after all of that. Therefore preventing that one from attacking you. So, okay. Whew. That was complicated. Vanessa,
Sorry, yeah.
no, it's all good. This is how it's supposed to work. Vanessa, you see the one, because now you get to react to the reaction. You see the one that was coming towards you gets blocked by Anchor with the one that he was fighting. So,
I will throw my fireball because two zombies lying
there's still
edge
two
on
in that other corner.
another.
Yeah. Okay.
So they will be easy to burn if they lying one on another.
That's fair. Yeah. So you're gonna, and I realized I took that. I didn't. I screwed this up. You shouldn't have gotten a reaction to their reaction. This is all still Anchor's turn. So you're about to get to do that, but it won't be quite yet. So yes, you've done the throw and intimidate. That one's blocked. So yes, you notice, Vanessa, that this one can't get at you, so it's not going to attack you. But there is still the one that was attacking Cassandra. It charges past you, Anchor, and then as that happens, you use the like a twig.
So if it, yeah, I'll spend a bond with her so that like the ability is that when I'm protecting, I can spend a bond to instantly protect them, and I take the damage for them.
Gotcha. Okay.
So whatever damage it was going to do, I'm going to take. I'm going to burn off one of my armor for it,
Yeah.
and then because I have taken a hit, I'm going to activate my like a twig, and basically like the hand that was reaching for Cassandra, he just reaches out and he snaps all of the fingers on it and like
Yeah.
crunches all of the bones and like pushes it away. And so I have to take a trouble for that. I'm getting angrier as we go,
Yes.
but
Okay.
uh,
So you
but
would
he
have taken.
basically just
Yeah. So you would have taken 2 harm. You reduce that to 1 with the armor. So you take 1 harm out of that. You reach out and snap the fingers, thus preventing the attack against Cassandra, right?
yep, and it takes a harm from that.
And it takes 1 harm from that. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Boy, did I stumble through that, but there we go. We're there. Ben.
You did great. Okay, so now Ben will deal Captain Cassandra.
Oh no, hang on. I did it again. Hang on. This is still the bad guys.
Okay.
There is none of them were attacking you because the one that was going to attack you is trapped in the corner. So that's the end of their turn. Holy shit. I'll fix this all in editing. No, I won't, but I probably should.
That's great.
We
No,
go
you are
back to the
doing
top
great.
of the pile now. Finally, we got it straight. Vanessa, after, and I have to say sorry. When you said I shoot, I should have just said yes, and I'd have been right on track. So it's back at the top of the turn. It's your turn. What do you do? The one that was coming at you is blocked.
Like I said,
Mhm.
2 of them are now laying one over another.
Yeah,
So I would burn them with my fireball because I know that fire works on them.
absolutely. Yep.
And if I still can, I would shoot at the one that attacked Cassandra.
I think not, because Fireball is an attack.
Yeah, it'll be one or the other. You did an
So
11 with the
fireball.
fireball. So you you step forward, and there's the one that was going to be attacking you and the one that did attack Anchor are right here. So you just sort of. And what color is your fire? Purple and black, right?
Yellow.
Yellow. Okay. So it's just this bright yellow flash just away from you, and they're so close it catches them both. And the one that was attacking Anchor is just goes up like a torch. They just and they burn from top to bottom. They drop to the
And I
ground,
will,
deceased. Just let me finish.
and
The other one that was the one that he's holding, like he blocked from getting to you. That one takes another point of damage, but is still just barely standing.
I would say thank you, Anchor.
There we go. Perfect. Anchor, back to you.
Have we had Ben and Cassandra have another turn? Because I think
We went back to the top of the list, so it's Vanessa, you,
Okay.
then Ben, then
They
Okay.
were
Then Cassandra,
attacking
then
you,
the bad
that's
guys.
why you had
So, yeah.
less.
yeah, he's just so he threw the one. There's the one that's near Cassandra that tried to hurt her. That is now he's got a hand on, right?
Yeah.
So he's just
the one that's deceased is the one that had a thing for you. That had a thing on for you, so that one is gone.
okay. So he's pummeling the hell out of the one that like tried to lay a hand on the captain.
Okay.
And I still have the ante, but I got it again. So
yeah, that's an 11 with the ante. And you do 2 harm, right?
2 and a wreck.
2 and
But
a wreck.
I think
so
the wreck mostly applies to objects.
that's they're not quite big enough to be objects, but they are at least as tall as you, if not as thick. But they only had 1 harm left. So tell us how this thing comes apart.
So there's like one of the runaway machines that's still going,
Oh,
and like
nice. Yep.
Anchor has just been like, pinballing these things between each other, and this
Yep.
one he just kind of like he has it by the hand, he grabs it by the back of the neck, and he just feeds it through some sort of like grinding, hammering, like just purple ooze comes out of the other side.
What
So that's the 2 harm. And then the other ability that he has, he looks at the ones that he's already intimidated,
Yep.
and he's just gonna like Like there's like fury and lightning in his arms. He's like, no one touches the captain, and
Wow. Okay.
advancing towards him.
Yep. So yeah, you just like putting them in a wood chipper, and then turn around and look at that. And in my the other one that's still in the corner that's been frightened the whole time, actually, and these things don't do this, but Anchor has intimidated it twice. It actually shows a panic response, turns around and starts to scrabble out a window. It is pissing off. It has had enough. It is fleeing the scene. So that one is not a problem, which means the only one that's left is the one that you blocked in front of Vanessa. Which brings us to Ben. Boy, does it show I don't
But
run combat very often. Holy shit. I gotta get better at
you're
this.
doing great, Kevin. It's amazing.
No, I'm not, but it's nice of you to say.
No, you are.
I got it.
Take
I got
the
it.
compliment.
I got
Shut
it.
up.
We're good. We're good.
Okay,
Yep.
so Ben would yell to Cassandra, am I clear on using fire? Or should I switch to hand or distraction?
No quarter.
Okay, that's thank you, Capitan. And he would call on his fire one more time, and it's green with flecks of purple.
Okay.
So it's
So you.
Bellfire green with flecks of purple, and he got five more lock points. So he
Okay.
would use another one
Yep.
and call on his fire once more and shoot at the one that was next to Vanessa because she
Perfect. So
burned one. There is another
that's the
one.
only one that's still alive, is the one
Yep,
next to Vanessa. So
yep,
roll plus
and he
Spitfire.
would shoot onto that one. So I will roll my 2d6. Please give me a minute. I'm gonna
Yep.
find my roll dice site and I'm gonna roll my dice. It's 6, but 6 plus my Spitfire.
Yep.
So it's plus 3, so it's a success. It's a
It's a
9.
9. Okay. So you still, there's
A
always a
success
cost.
with a cost.
There's always a cost. Personal cost or surge out of control. And this time
So,
I choose because you
you
rolled a 9.
choose,
On a
okay.
10 plus, you choose.
Yep.
It's just been, I mean, you're good at this, but it's just been, you just overheated, right? You got
Yep.
too much. There was sort of a backfire, and I'm gonna have
That makes sense.
I'm gonna have you take 1 harm and deliver 1 harm.
Okay, that's fair.
So you kind of, it's right there. But you can feel it sort of kick back into your arm, almost like it went off in the chamber. It still did damage, but you absolutely take a shock and get knocked back from it. Cassandra.
Still worth it. Still cool.
Thanks, Ben.
You're welcome.
Cassandra, there's only 1 left. What do you do? The machinery over here is kind of going with bits in it. It hasn't stopped it. I'm going to make you guys make that decision, but
I guess finish off this one
Yep.
since
you called no quarter.
I guess we can't catch that one that's fucking off despite saying no quarter.
Mm-hmm.
So another sneeze.
Yeah.
Another roll with Spitfire.
Please do. Yeah.
Only 7.
Ooh, at least you made it. So yes, you hit it. It's another one of those things where it goes up. You can see it. It sort of runs out of defenses and it becomes flammable, kind of, and then whoosh, like a tornado of fire, it bursts into flame and collapses into a poof, dust across the floor. There's a moment of silence. Outside, you hear the repeated sounds of something heavy hitting something soft. And then you hear your guest's voice. Now, son, you should have known better than to run away from a fight. And you look outside, and your unnamed friend has beat the 4th one to death outside in the yard. He kind of waves at you and says, "Don't get too close."
And Vanessa is disappointed because she was hoping to shoot the zombie who was crawling outside window.
Yep, you
And
were
she is,
hoping to hunt it down, but this guy took
eh,
good care of it for you.
and she is also disappointed that her crewmate was more badass than her because front of her zombie they defeat.
You guys were
Ben is
all.
very happy that they are
I
not
learned a
US.
thing today. The next group of things that you're going to fight are going to be a lot tougher. You guys just walked through those. They had 4 harm each, and I didn't fudge a number. You guys just kicked their asses. They only got 1 round. We didn't even get to their second round. We were just about to, but even when with me
We had
screwing up,
good
they wouldn't.
Vanessa,
rolls.
Yeah.
Vanessa, we have her head and down and and foot and foot some rubbish kick.
He just kicks it.
Like
I love it. So in that
Ben
moment,
is very happy that they are ash, so he cannot be tempted to eat them.
yes, you're very lucky. The only one that is outside, and because you can't see it, I'm not going to make you roll.
Yes.
But using fire was a brilliant idea. But now that the combat is over, and the 4 of you have a chance to look around, this floor, this main floor, has been pillaged pretty hard by humans, which is reasonable. I mean, the Viking long thing is right there, and there's people out in the lake somewhere here, out in the shine. But there's not much that you can see on this floor. There's some boxes and some crates and maybe some storage stuff. But what you do see in the far center section is a clogged up flight of stairs. It's been intentionally filled with rocks and gravel, but there's a flight of stairs that's going down to a lower level. On this level, the machinery is still clunking away. There is an area where you can see it processed. There was big spinners that mixed pots that are now gone, but you can see the idea that somehow they're removing the mercury from the ground and purifying it, and in the process they turn it into this foam. But again, you can see the gears are driving pillars that go downstairs. So there's more workings downstairs, even though they're hidden behind this wall of stone.
Vanessa will suggest that maybe we get back to crew to clear staircase.
Or you have an anchor.
Yeah, Anchor can do it.
First things first, put the fires out with the Gale book.
Yeah, so and what is the side effect of the Gale book? Again, we know
I
you have
have
to
a
read
cold.
it.
I have cold symptoms for an hour.
For an hour, okay.
At least that's what I remember being
Yep,
said.
that makes perfect sense. So you and very small little typhoons happen in each corner of the building because that's where the 4 fires were, and you put
So
them
she
all out.
sneezes to make fire, and she has cold symptoms when she uses the gale. And
Yes.
so, like, if we ever see her break out with like chicken pox, it's just like doom and run.
I wondered about effects of her book because we still didn't solve.
She's only used these are the 2 books you've seen before, so I think that's the first time you used Pointy's book, but you still haven't seen the
The
finished
demon
product.
book is still being made. It's
Yeah.
not ready yet, so we don't know what the side effects will be.
What I remember, the anti-demon book is finished. I just didn't get a chance to use it because people were in my way.
Yes, yeah, fair. Yeah. So yeah, it is finished.
And I thought when we were making it, I thought it was protect people from harm, but the contents of it were all this demon knowledge.
Yeah,
So
what we ended up with was the knowledge that it was the clear water thing. In my head, it could make the clear water.
and it's basically a hose that I
Yeah.
can just go.
An anti-demon hose. Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that for
But
for its
we
first
did,
level, right?
sure, okay.
Yeah.
but we didn't solve side effects.
Yeah,
I
what's
know
the
what. Oh,
cost?
I know what they are.
All
They
right.
got PM to me, but they haven't used it yet, so you won't see them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I see. I get it. But
Moving
yeah,
on.
yeah, you won't see that until they use that ability.
Yeah.
All right.
Um,
Yeah.
Anchor's still clearly so like he's still got a little bit of the electricity like going
Oh
through his
yeah.
eyes and stuff.
Yeah.
So he's kind of stalking around and like looking for any like flaming boxes to like stomp out or
Yep.
like he's not trying to like destroy any of the tech, but there is definitely some lingering malice that is being taken out on some plywood or
Yeah.
whatever
Whatever's
things are
laying
made
around
around
for sure. Yep. Uh, I guess Cassandra, you see the stairs going down. It looks like that's where you're. If you, especially if you want to stop the process. I mean, you could try just gumming up the gears here, but you don't know what's downstairs, right?
Could I do a roll to find something interesting here, maybe? Some leftover tech or
Oh,
something?
anybody that
Or
wants to can do a size up roll to search this
yeah.
floor.
I want.
Cassandra would want to point Anchor at the gravel.
Yeah,
It's
if you've got the
asking
extra
if he
energy, dig us a hole.
Do you
Diggy
mind if I
dig.
burn off? He has just the first level of anger, which is resolved by breaking something.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if that qualifies
Oh
to
yeah,
disperse his pissed,
yeah.
then
Just
he's not good.
just rage digging down the stairs. Yeah, perfect.
Vanessa, Vanessa, we ask. Maybe better we ask crew to clean and not damage.
I have 10 for a size up.
Okay. Um,
And size up is plus what?
size up is
Vinegar.
plus vinegar.
Oh, so it's just a 10.
Okay. Um,
I
what
just
you?
want to find something cool to give the Capitan.
Oh, a cool thing. That's different than a useful thing. I can do cool things all day.
Or useful, it depends on the
I'm gonna
Capitan.
describe a thing that you found, and I'm not gonna tell you anything more about it.
Okay.
It looks, for all the world, like an upside down tree made of metal. It starts off on an aluminum plate. You've seen aluminum before. It's a metal.
Mm.
It's an aluminum plate about that big, and coming up out of the middle out of it, it looks for all the world like an upside down tree, like the trunk of a tree that then spreads to roots at the top,
I know
and
what
it's
Ben will say.
incredibly delicate.
Ben would say, Capitan, I found metal Yggdrasil. Oh, tree, right there. Metal Yggdrasil. Look. Because he's
And
a
if you
Viking.
ever want to see what this actually looks like, look up metal on aluminum or mercury on aluminum. If you have to scratch the aluminum oxide finish off the aluminum, but if you put mercury on it, it looks like Mentos and Coke in slow motion. It's amazing.
I wanted also to side looking.
Okay, you want to look around as well. Your vinegar is so you rolled a 6 plus your vinegar gets you to an 8, a 7, which is one success. What were you looking for?
Something scientific to discover, uncover.
Okay. It's broken, but you find an incredibly fine measuring device, like a pipette that's for measuring tiny amounts of liquid. It's broken, so it's not usable, but it at least hints at a level of tech that you could use in your lab on the ship. That's a lot nicer than what you've got. But you only find the broken piece up here, so probably
I
more
take
downstairs.
it.
Okay.
I take it
Maybe it's
because
fixable.
yes, or I could do copy of this thing, a letter on
Absolutely, yeah. You
shape.
could try and rebuild it. Yeah. Okay. So that's Ben and Vanessa. Anchor, you're doing diggy dig.
Mhm.
And
I don't think he's really qualified to do a search roll while he's digging. So.
no, fair. You're gonna find the door at the bottom. That's kind of inevitable. And Cassandra, that leaves you while everybody's doing things.
I guess if this is a factory, shouldn't there be a foreman's office?
There absolutely should be. You look around, and there is, in amongst the ruins and the boxes, you can see the walls have fallen down because they were made of wood and
Mm-hmm.
drywall, not the metal plating that the outside was. But you can see where that office was, at least. You go over and have a look.
Yep.
Okay, give
Oops.
me a size up, please.
/ space
That's I should have just called this
2d6.
whole adventure. Roll me a size up, please.
Not paste. / space 2d6. And I want to copy that for later.
Actually,
Plus,
this one. Okay, so
it's
6.
only 6.
Oh, okay. Well, that's okay. Take an experience point for the failure for rolling a
Yep.
6. You get over there to find that you between the fire and the putting it out with the water, there was a couple pieces of paper here. They looked like they were probably only invoices or something, but they're unreadable. Any information that you might have gleaned is ruined by your entrance.
Oh well, that was a risk.
Yep. Gain 1 XP.
Yep. Already added.
Ben thinks he found a branch of Yggdrasil. Wrong story. Wrong story.
Yeah, but he's an Earthman. He believes in that stuff. And you, Capitan, can we take the magic branch with us? I think it has magic power. It's Yggdrasil. Just look at it. It's a metal tree.
I mean,
Vanessa will do facepalm.
as educated as Cassandra is, I don't think she's quite this educated on like chemistry, so
You'd
she'll
have
just
to. I think you'd have to look it up. I think would that be
yeah.
fair? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what shelf to look on when you get back to your ship.
Yeah.
Uh,
If anything, it can be something neat that we can pawn off if somebody takes an interest in it.
So
Pirate
is it
thinking.
a yes or a no?
Yes,
Does
go ahead.
Okay,
Keep it.
so Ben would take it and probably get poisoned
Well,
by
my
it.
question is, we ascertained it's very fragile. Are you taking it with you, or are you going to set it by the door and pick it up on the way out?
He's asking the Capitan. He doesn't make decisions anymore for himself.
I guess if she sees how fragile it is, she would say to keep it by the door for when we leave. It's not going to survive any more fights.
Yes, Capitan.
So, leaving that there, anchor, you're just as the rage sort of wears off, and you get that oh that wave of tired where you almost for a second you almost have to take a knee. You open up that last hole and you come to a set of double doors just below you, and it's a good thing you can't breathe, because between that gap between the doors there is a hideous chemical reek. You've just opened up an area that's been sealed for eons, and chemical reactions have been happening therein for that whole time. Not eons, but you
And
know what I mean.
he'll call back. He says, I this area is thick with some kind of poison.
Vanessa will run and she put some sort mask or
Okay.
scarf
Okay.
and she will investigate because she was kinda like to that stuff.
Yeah. And Ben, you don't have to breathe either, so you're not really affected.
Ben would just go to look and say, I don't have to breathe, I don't have to worry about this, and go to help get a look.
Okay.
Vanessa also don't need breath.
That's right. Cassandra's the only one that needs to breathe. All right. So, what is the plan? You've got 3 of you down there at the doors now. Cassandra, I'm presuming you're staying upstairs until they.
Um, I guess so. While I wait for them, I could look for like a gas mask or something.
Um,
There has to be safety things.
Yep. You find a rack where they used to be, and this is one of those things that you can see has been pillaged. So there's
Yep,
none left there now.
fair.
Yeah.
I
Uh,
guess all she can do is wait and keep a lookout
yep.
just in case visitors come in from all
Perfect.
this commotion.
Perfect. I like that. Um, yeah. So I'll let you know if anybody shows up. But down at the bottom of the stairs, what are you guys doing?
I
Uh,
will look for source of the smell.
Okay.
well, I'd like an idea. Like, is this just like what's at the door? Like, what's through the door that we can plainly see?
As you
Before we
sort of
start going looking for specific sources, I'd like to know kind of what's
yeah,
there in
so you
general.
sort of peek between the gap that this stink is coming out of, and you see the big pounding machines at the far end are stirring vats. The vats are still down here. There is a pipe coming out of the wall with a fairly thin, just a drip of mercury coming out of it. That's falling into a pool. There's a skimmer taking away the impurities. It's just, but you can see the whole process. And then right at the end, there's supposed to be full circle. There's supposed to be a hopper to catch the aluminum liquid that would then be taken out on a train track that you can see that goes into a little tunnel that only goes maybe 50 yards and then has collapsed. But that hopper is missing. So instead, the mercury is dripping onto the tracks and it's eroded a path through there, through the floor of the basement wall, and out into the water table.
I would look if this machinery have some sort levels, and if not, then if this pipe with mercury have valve.
Yep. You guys can both see that. Yes, there are on-off switches. They look like they're big levers. They look like they might be rusted, but it would be the work of a moment to plug up that tube.
I would
Ben,
do this.
So, Ben, yeah,
Ben would say,
you'd have
I
to open the
can
door to do
turn
that.
into I can turn into a mouse. Get in there and do what you tell me to do. That's his idea, but
Yeah.
because there is a small gap, he
So yeah,
could turn into a mouse, turn back, and do the levers. How they tell him to do those.
so yes, that would shut off the production, absolutely, but it still leaves you with a room full of toxic stink. Before Cassandra can come down here, you guys are going to have to air this out somehow.
I I suggest that we need first thing to stop working and then turn off valve
Okay.
of this pipe
So
because
So
yeah,
then because then this pool will be empty.
hmm so that's the suggestion. Anchor.
So what Anchor is most immediately aware of is that there's this drip coming out of it that is clearly leaking to the lake. It's responsible for the solar flow.
Yeah.
What he's looking is for something that can at least at the moment be filling up with that liquid so it's not continually polluted. Like it's obviously polluted already.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But that will last for a while until they can find something larger and better and more suited to that purpose.
Funnily,
Yeah,
yeah. Funnily enough, the hopper is just inside the tunnel. It's just fallen off its tracks. And you being able, like having the power to wreck, would be able to stand this thing back up and just put it over there and literally put it under the drip.
yeah.
Open the doors to do that. So yeah, is that
Um,
yeah?
yeah,
Okay.
that'll be it. And since he knows that people once worked down here, it stands to reason that they would have had a ventilation system which is no longer working.
Yes.
Um, and so he's just sort of like looking for something that reminds him of that, like that he's looking for ducks, he's looking for
Yep.
he isn't even exactly sure what he's looking for, but like there's like the flashes of like movies, TV shows,
Yep.
stories,
Oh yeah. Big fan.
he-
That's what you're looking for, and a switch to turn it on. Yeah. Yeah. Something like that.
yeah.
But yeah, stop the flow. Your plan is to push the hopper, open the doors, push the hopper into place, and then look for the ventilation. Okay. So
And
Ben, then I just want to do Ben because Ben's plan to be a mouse is now out the door. So what do you do instead?
okay, but because I
Because
rolled
Siosa's
for
just,
the
or sorry,
shape change.
Anchor's just going to open the
Yeah.
doors, right? Um, so you can either
So
take back the shape change or come up with an interesting way to use that.
I'm thinking because I have to be either my size or smaller.
Yep.
I cannot be anything larger. So maybe a snake to like turn on the valves being a boa constrictor, like because the valves are rusted.
Yeah.
He
Okay.
would
Yeah.
turn into a snake, and it's on 9 because it's a 6+3
Okay.
Spitfire, so there is a cost, and you are picking
Okay.
if it's a personal cost or if the power goes out of control. But my idea is turning off the machines because Capitan said I
Yep.
think she wants to turn off the machines. So Ben would turn into a black boa constrictor and get between
you
the
wanna
valves and constrict them.
So you want to stop the actual mixer, the physical
Yes.
components, right? Okay. And then, sorry, I've cut you off a couple times, but Vanessa, now that you know what those two are going to do, what is your plan?
Valve. I will turn off valve.
Okay, so actually shut off the valve that Anchor has put the bucket under, so that won't fill up and flood over.
Yes.
Okay.
And then they will not go to this machinery that Ben stopped.
Yep.
So we stop this Mercury.
Okay. So now that I got it all figured out, I'm gonna just play out the scene. So Anchor, you pull the doors open, and this waft of stench just goes up the stairs and through the holes in the roof. Cassandra, you could see this stink rising up, and I don't know whether you'd sort of take an instinctive step back or not, maybe cover your face, but you could see as it goes through the holes in the ceiling, it's so toxic it actually starts to react with the roofing, producing
You
a
could use
fuzzy
the book, the game.
creating a fuzzy look not unlike the tree that Ben has put over by the door.
Definitely staying away from that.
Yep.
And I could hose it down, but y'all are downstream.
Yes. Yeah. So you just sort of step aside and you're just letting it air out, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yes, you could use the wind book to have a little gale to get it away from you, just to be
All right.
safe.
So I'm going to assume everybody finds the valves. It's not difficult to find the valves. Like this one runs the pipe, it's on the pipe. This one runs the ventilation, it's on the vent. So I'm going to assume you guys found everything that you were looking for. So let's just do the rolls. To for Anchor, the ventilation, you find it. It's a big wheel. At first creak, you can see it's rusted to hell, but it looks like a good oomph will get it done.
Okay. Do you need a blood roll then,
Um,
or is it
yeah,
just
yeah.
within my
Let's do a blood
capabilities?
roll because there's always if a fail means it broke, right? So
Sure.
yeah, let's give you let's oh actually let's give a blood roll, but it's break in or out because you're trying to break
Okay.
into the ventilation system. It says in the book, use this with wide latitude. Anytime you're trying to get into or out of anything, this is the roll. So where you're
Sure.
using physical strength. So yeah.
I got a 7 on it.
Okay, so on a 7 to 9, it does work. Uh, on a hit, you got an in or out, so it works. You choose one. On a 7 to 9, the fates choose one as well. So you choose. Suffer harm or mark or trouble. You run into an obstacle you didn't expect. You lose track of something important, or you bring something nasty with you, or in this case, let something nasty out.
I really sort of love the idea that there's just like one zombie that's been trapped there the whole time, like,
Yep.
like just for a year, and
Yeah.
just like anger, like, oh, crap.
Yeah, I like that so much. I like that so much. So yeah, you turn it, and it's just a big flue in a fireplace, right? It goes like this, and the zombie just falls out, and it looks. They're mindless, but it still manages to look surprised. It's like, oh, and I'm not even gonna make you roll. This is a zombie. You could pop this it's like slapping a mosquito, right? But just
Shuffler.
Yeah,
yeah,
just kind of picks it up and smashes it
against the
against the
wall.
wall.
Thank you. That was beautiful. The nice little moment of comic relief. So that's the ventilator, and with that you hear inside you hear thunk 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 thunk, and the parts of another one fall out as the fan starts and kind of grinds another one like a meat grinder through the fans. So you hear the thunk 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 thunk, and then that stops and the pieces fall out. But the fan starts to work and starts to move the air in and out of here.
There's
Yeah.
So Anchor doesn't have like a whole lot of like emotive things to his face, but for anybody like Vanessa who might knows him like have been around him for a long time, there's at least one moment where like his thoughts are kind of like visible in his face as he imagines what would happen if a zombie was pushed into the very start of this whole process and then like bludgeoned through each step of it like one at a time and like wonders what would come out at the end, and then he just sort of like shakes it off like nope, that'd probably do too much damage to be worth trying.
So, speaking of that complicated machinery, the grinder mixer process, Ben, you snake
Before
over.
I roll,
Mhm.
I want to remind you that I should have some negative consequences because I roll on 9 and you get
Yep.
to pick the negative
That's
consequences for them.
yes, and I'm going to pretend I had a plan for this. I'm going to have you roll it, and I'm going to tell you what the negative consequences were.
Okay, so
Just a straight
roll.
blood roll. This is physical strength.
Yeah, is my blood different? I got an 8, but I'm a snake now, not Ben, so
What's Ben's blood?
0.
Zero.
I think.
I'll give you. Yeah, it won't make any difference because I could give you a 2 and
No,
it's only going to be a
has
1. So.
-1.
Okay,
As
so I'll
Ben.
give it back to a 0, but it still doesn't. It wouldn't change the roll. You got a success,
Yep.
but only just. Uh, you crank on it and crank on it and crank on it, and when it finally gives, it sort of catches you by surprise. And I want to add my funny scene to the other funny scene. You get comically wrapped up in the valve when it releases because it kind of goes. It's not just and it's done. It goes around about 10 times, and you're a snake that's through several of the spokes.
The Charlie Chaplin.
So you kind of almost like wound up like a hose on a spinner in the garden, right? So again, no harm, but we're gonna leave you for the moment, sort of wrapped up in that.
Amazing, I'm all for it.
And
What's
then
with me?
Vanessa, yes, you step up to this obvious big. You look in the tube and you can see the big, the valve that's in there. It's a big ball valve and it's turned sideways, and you see the valve that's attached to it on the outside, and you start cranking on it. Your blood is -2, so let's see how this goes. 2d6 -2. Nope, you got an experience point out of the deal, but you as you crank on it and crank on it, you just can't get it to move. Now, because Anchor has put the hopper there, you guys have got hours and hours before that fills up and this continues to flow. So you couldn't get it right away. But if you're willing to sort of wait until probably Anchor gets over there to give you a hand, you can get that shut.
I would like to hunt because he's bigger and stronger.
Yeah. So between the three of you, you get that valve shut as well. So everything is stopped now. The thung 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 thung. You hear the clutch engage upstairs, and you can hear the water wheel outside is still turning, but it starts to spin more freely because it's not driving anything anymore. It's been disengaged as part of shutting off process.
I'm also looking if there in the pool with this Mercury there is some sort like a hole like in bathroom. So clean this.
The plug hole, yeah. Um,
Yes.
So as you start to do that, Cassandra, you're upstairs, and I want to finish with this scene. You see the stink that was coming out of it. You hear vents starting downstairs. You see chimney stubs outside. There's only it's only a couple feet tall. It used to be a full chimney, but there's only a little bit left. Starts spewing out this stink, but even that thins very quickly. It's moving a lot of air. So you can tell almost within a minute, you can tell that it's going to be safe for you to go downstairs. It stinks, but it's no longer toxic levels of stink. And as you.
She's still
Yeah, go ahead.
still putting a bandana on to
Yep.
protect her face, but
And And I want to end with I'm going to describe something, and then I want Cassandra to tell me how you react to that, and then that's where we're going to drop the curtain. Because
Okay.
when you get to the bottom of the stairs through all this rock shrapnel that Anchor dug in his rage, so it's kind of like a tube down a flight of stairs, and at the bottom it turns, and there's the remains of doors that were shoved open by Anchor when he went in. And you get to that step, and you turn and look in, and you see your crew in front of you closing valves and getting caught up in valves, but closing valves anyway, and overcoming issues like having a problem and calling on a crewmate to help t- to fix the problem. There's a well oiled machine operating in front of you in this room. By the time your foot lands in that room, it's under control. How does that make you feel? And what, if anything, do you say? And then we're going to drop the curtain.
There
So,
is pride shining in her eyes. And she just says, "Well done, all of you."
and then steps into the room as Ben unwraps himself and uncoils and stands back up into human form. As Vanessa and Anchor get the last of the valves, you guys have figured out how now that it's shut off. You can think in here. It's quieter, and you go along and shut the thing down properly, releasing all the pressures and undoing all the valves, and you're you've figured it out. You're engineered your way out of this situation and have got it stopped. The flow is stopped. It's going to be months, maybe years, maybe decades before the lake isn't silver anymore, but the toxins are no longer getting poured into it. With that, and that moment of your captain saying they're proud of you, is where we'll drop the curtain on tonight.
Yes.
Whew.
Ben would be so proud, standing at attention, being proud.
Thank you to all the players, especially thank you for sticking with me through my confusion in the combat. I don't do enough combat, and it shows. And
You did
note
great.
taken. It'll be better. But it worked out. It turned out to be a cakewalk, but that's okay
It's
because
functional.
this game was about the this session was about the turned out to be about the crew and not about anything else. The rest of it we'll get to next week. But thank you to Siosa for Anchor's steadfast uh, defense of the realm. I have referred to him repeatedly as a paladin, but he's kind of a bar paladin. Like there's an element of barbarian to his safety that I absolutely love. And it's fun to watch you play a character instead of running a whole world. It's because I know on the other side it's fun to play one character and not have to worry about the whole thing. So thank you for bringing that to us tonight.
Thank you.
Oh, Carol. Ben is learning. Ben is following instructions. Ben may be following instructions too well at this point. Like I will have no original thought, Captain. But it's perfect role play because that's he's trying to be good. Like there's this element of
They wanted
childness to
from
Ben, right?
him.
He wants to be a really
Yes.
good boy. He wants to pat in the head, but he's not quite sure
Yeah.
how to do it, so he's overreacting. So
And
thank
I
you.
figured out why the demon say yes to taking away his old toys.
Uh-huh.
Because Ben was thinking about giving those to his goddess to have a new source of power. So,
That's not the reason.
okay.
The only hint I'm going to give you is you're going to miss those a lot when you play your violin. That's all the
No
hint I'm
hints
going to
needed.
give you.
I had fun with this. Thank you.
Next.
But then again, Ben is free to make all the assumptions he wants
Oh,
to.
Yes.
absolutely.
Thank you,
Assumptions are
wonderful
fun.
game.
I like assumptions. As a GM, I love it when my players assume stuff. But let me keep moving with the thank yous before I forget. Thank you so much to Janet for bringing us Vanessa. This mix of cold blooded assassin and crewmate and friend and again following instructions and going to your captain with important information. The character growth is wonderful and I'm loving to see it. and you've managed to do that without losing a one nut. You haven't lost one little bit of Vanessa's hard acidness. She is still a serious power to contend with. The idea at the end of the fight, your first thought was, "Damn it, I didn't do as much damage as Anchor." That's that was
Yeah,
there's still that's still
thanks.
Vanessa at the core, right? It's
And
beautiful. So
and
thank you
she
for that.
was and she was kinda like, damn, I'm not that edgy.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna have to try harder if I'm gonna be the edgelord in this party. And you got out edgelord by the paladin. That's got a sting. That's
Vanessa needs to go shopping at her topic.
but before
Yeah,
I forget again, yeah, I want to say
nah, I only said that. Yeah, I agree with Hot Topic.
And finally, last but definitely not least, Cassandra is a handful of a character. And you have, Deku, you have not only played the character really, really well, but you have showcased how difficult it is to be a captain and how much responsibility changes the way a character thinks. I've seen a lot of people play captains that are just like, I'm part of the team, gung ho, let's go. And you have nailed the fact that you can't be a captain and part of the team at the same time. They're different things. On a weekend party, you can all go out together, maybe, but ship time, you're here and they're here, and that's hard to play. And I appreciate that from the bottom of my soul because it's a really interesting look into the mind of a captain. It's the Jean
And
Luc Picard thing. So yeah, go ahead.
and that bit where Vanessa was worried about the fire and Cassandra kind of had to put her foot down and
Yes.
be like,
Yep.
problem now.
Yep. Yes.
I'm sorry for yelling, but Captain or Cassandra was in captain mode,
Yes.
You
and
did great.
No, yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Just for my feedback, your yelling has never been like physically painful or anything like
Yeah.
that. So like the volume that you were using was fine.
Yeah.
So
okay.
You stage yell well.
Thank
Well,
you.
no, you zoom yell. That's a different thing. Stage yell is make them hear it out in the parking lot. So yeah, you zoom yell well. But all of you over the top, out of the park again today. We're gonna go with 40 experience each. Um,
40.
oh, sorry, four. I forgot.
it's like we're all level
Wrong
10.
game.
Yay!
Wrong game. Wrong game.
Yeah.
Four experience, not five. The max I've ever given you was five. But this was good. Um, all the characters have
And
moved along.
also, Kevin, I hear you are not sure about getting battles, and we kind of got lost in the weeds, but it was functional and you did good. Take
I
the
f-
compliment.
I
It
f-
wasn't horrible.
I figured it out in the end. I will take that compliment. Yes, it worked. And it will.
Thank you for GMing narrating this wonderful game.
Well, thank
It
you very
was a
much.
joy to play.
With that, there's still two thank yous left because all the people that watched either live or on the VOD, thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you watched on YouTube and you watched all the way to here, I'm going to presume you liked it. So please hit the things. Hit the subscribe if you're not already, because we're putting out 5 shows a week now. So you got to stay caught up. Pop to the YouTube channel and get caught up on the stuff that you've missed. And hit those buttons, hit those thumbs up, and tell us how we did. Pop into the comments and say things. We love it. So, until.
One more small thing before we say goodbye. I
Mhm.
just wanted to say that I quoted a wonderful song by the band Steam Power Giraffe. The name is Fire Fire. And I'm gonna put the links in our Discord game discussion chat. So join our Discord to hear some wonderful tunes. That's all from me. Thank you for this commercial break from me. I'm shutting up now.
And so, from the island of Cradle, we send our greetings to everyone who watched. And a, a question, a request, a personal favor I would like to ask everybody that's watching this. Go out into the world and be a good person. Be kind when you can, be caring when you can. And until next time, please be nice to each other. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.